So guys, we're back on the 5.3 project. As you can see, I got the intake manifold on here. I just bolted it on real quick. I have my rocker arms and push rods installed. Right now I am putting in the new injectors. Quick note, I started this evening the same way the last episode ended, and that is doing valve spring retainers. What happens is, I had these Crower valve spring retainers that came with another 5.3 that I got that had a Crower cam and new valve springs and everything, seemingly everything I needed to get it going. Well, I installed these and they just didn't look right. The valve stem was sticking up, you know, a 1/4 inch higher than the retainer, and the keepers weren't really going all the way in there. And I did all 16 of them. And this morning I came in and I said, there's a number on there, maybe I should Google it. So I did. Turns out these are for a Mopar. 5.6, 5.7, 6.1 liter Hemi, something, who knows, who cares, right? So if you know anyone that needs 16 valve spring retainers, they're probably great. Crower, probably chromoly, black phosphate coating, never rust. If you know anyone that needs them, they're gonna be over here in the trash can. Now we have our used LS3 retainers on there, and that's just the way it's gonna go. So, without further ado, I have some used LSA injectors that I'm gonna slap into this thing, and I think I'm gonna have to adapt them, and I'm gonna have to adapt them to the harness, and blah, blah, blah. So, let's see how it goes. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. So, I didn't know if these were gonna work or not. I just had them laying around there. Stock LSA injectors, so they're 52 pound. Injectors are expensive, so I was gonna run these, and I bought $20 Amazon spacers that weren't the right size, but I was gonna make them work. And then stupidly, I ordered the wrong injector connector style for my harness, but I got $17 adapters to plug in there. And in doing all my kind of research and seeing what was going to work and what wasn't going to work, I didn't really see a whole lot of people using these injectors. I can't imagine why. They're 52 pound, like I said, and they're factory injectors, so they're, should have pretty good idle characteristics and all that stuff. But I'm realizing now that ain't nothing easy about this. The stock truck injector O-ring appears to be much smaller. This must be like a 13 mil or 12 mil or something, and this is 14 mil. So I don't really know. This is a little bit of a shit fight, but if I do get them in there, then I'm still gonna have to put a spacer under the fuel rail and adapt the connectors here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, you can see I put a truck fuel injector O-ring on the LSA injector. And it's nice and loose. Well, all that fretting for nothing. I just pulled the injector out and worked its way in there. So we're good. Well, I'm just going to put a little bit of this anaerobic sealant here around the water ports because there's a little bit of pitting. And the last thing you want when you finish a build like this is leaks or any reason to pull it back apart. This is a 2010 and up Camaro LS3 water pump, and it works well with the truck spacing. It works with the truck spacing. It is truck spacing, but the big benefit is that it puts the water port in a better location. The water pump outlet port. Everything else is kind of similar, and a thermostat, a water outlet, heater core hoses, all that stuff will work. It just puts the outlet port in a nicer spot. Looks better, usually works better. And I had this thing laying around, so why not? Well, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but decided to slap these valve covers on and make sure the coil packs fit. These valve covers are from an LS3, coil packs are from the truck, but she's coming together. pretty exciting. Got that nice Camaro water pump on there. All right, I'm done for the night, but we'll pick up doing something else at a different time. This is the ICT Billet idler pulley relocation. And I'm gonna find out right now where it goes. Looks like it. All right, guys, well, I've been doing a lot of the stuff without recording, just too excited, I guess. So I'm gonna give a quick overview of what I've gotten done. I have got the new injectors in, I'm sure you saw that. I cleaned up the coil brackets and cleaned up the coils and got those on there. My throttle cable came in the mail, so I just test fit that. I got this Holley low mount AC compressor bracketry, and you can see the tensioner is going to line up good with that. I had to trim this engine mount. You can see that there. I had to trim the engine mount to clear that. So the next kind of steps are going to be, I'm going to pull this water pump back off and drill and tap the back of the coolant port, the coolant outlet port for the steam port, because my radiator doesn't have a port for the steam port. And I've done this before with some success, so it's a nice and clean solution to having a, steam port hose into a T or drilling a hole in the radiator or something like that. So I'm gonna pull this off, drill and tap, put an MPT fitting in here, a little hose barb, and that should take care of that. Then I just gotta clean up and put on the power steering pump. And then I am gonna tighten everything up, Loctite everything, put my motor mounts on, all that kind of stuff. And then I really gotta measure for my oil pan, make sure the oil pan that I got is gonna fit. I'm not sure, that's kind of the last unknown, but so that's what we're gonna do tonight. All right, so you can see how I got it routed here. If I can stay out of the light. Comes up from the steam port right there. Did a little loop, back into the water pump. And that's that. All right, guys, well, that's it. She's just about ready to go in the truck. I got a couple little things to do. Some hardware, you know, throttle body, knickknacks like that. But other than that, she's ready to go in the truck, which is super exciting. I did, let's recap here. I tore it all down, cleaned it up, painted the block, put cam bearings in it, gapped the rings for boosts going down the road, replaced the head gaskets that were blown. I did valve springs, I did lifters, I did Camaro water pump with the truck accessory drive. I got a low mount Holley AC compressor bracket on there. And I put LSA injectors in it. And I think that's it. I resealed literally everything. So I'm looking forward to having a nice reliable runner that doesn't leak oil, that starts every time, that gets maybe even decent gas mileage. We'll see. So next video you'll see from me is stabbing this thing in there, and that's super exciting. My twin turbo eBay small block Chevy with the sniper and the Hyperspark distributor and all that kind of stuff is up for sale right now. I had a bite last night. We'll see. That would be cool, recoup some money, but selling that thing, going modern. Eventually this will get turboed and it'll be way more better. So subscribe if you haven't already, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to put these videos out in some sort of regularity, but you know, life and whatnot. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll get this thing stabbed in the truck. I have just about everything I need. I mean, I think I have everything I need. So it should be a quick process getting it stabbed in. Holley Terminator X-Max. I got vintage air stuff and some eBay headers and some exhaust tubing to connect it all. So, all right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.